Yes, thank you. Man, this is a heavy one. I currently sit on the LCAP for district and in Area 5, and this is something that we look at constantly, and we see these numbers, and it's disheartening. But for me, just speaking as someone who's been kind of working in it a little bit, for me, this is an equity issue. Opportunity uh, is at the heart of the American dream, right? And we firmly believe that each and every person should have equal opportunities to work hard and use their talents to climb the ladder of success. But far too many of our students in our district and families, that dream has been denied. And we're talking over and over again. And it's not currently just right now it's been denied. We're talking across generations. The barriers are significant and recurring. Not enough food, unaddressed health issues, low quality schools, parents unable to find jobs, exposure to trauma, unsafe neighborhood, lack of access to essential services. The list can go on. The barriers are not only life barriers, people. These directly impact academic success. And so for me, it's being an equity issue. I think we need to apply a clear race equity lens to policy development. This means explicitly looking at potential impacts on communities that do not identify as white. We know how COVID has impacted students of color and students in poverty. And accountability starts by providing clear, defined expectations and being committed to achieving them. And understanding the intersectionalities of all of those groups to better service our students, communities, and families. And so that's where I'm at with it. And it's something that that is very passionate for me, something we talk about often, but that's my synopsis of what needs to happen at this point in our district. Thank you. This is something else that I get asked constantly, and I know that all the candidates here get asked. Um, I say I want to start off by saying this: uh, we're all complicit inside of what is our current situation. But then also we talk about building relationships and coalitions. I've already been doing that work. I'm proud to have the endorsement of every major stakeholder in our district, not only family, students, and educators, but Sacramento Teachers Association, SCIU Local 1021, Sacramento Labor Council, and several current SCUSD board members. I believe this shows that I can build strong coalitions around shared goals. Moving forward, we have no choice but to be deeply centered on our students and our community. We must value teachers and labor partners as assets and not line items. And our student success is linked to how we collaborate and work together towards a shared vision as a district. Once again, one of the big things is say, we usually hear district and then the school board or the teachers unions and then the families. And we hear it as if we're not the same thing. We hear it as if we're not all on one boat. And I just want to let you guys know on this district boat that we're all on together, if the district crashes on an iceberg, if you remember the movie Titanic, the people who die on the iceberg are not the people on the deck, but are the people on below the ship. So you talk about those numbers, you talk about the disadvantaged youth, and we talk about all of the categories in LCFF. Those are the people that are on the bottom of the boat that the water rushes in and drowned. And so if we understand that notion, we understand that we have to do more together, and we have to build coalitions around shared goals, passions, and vision for our district. And this is the time to do that. Thank you.
Bringing that on you.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're totally fine. Okay, so I would have to say this one thing, that this is something that we've seen in the district. And when the closures happened, we saw multiple suicides by young people when schools were closed. And this is something I personally have worked on during school closures in partnership with Youth Forward and Youth Help Network to connect youth to mental health resources via our artist community here in Sacramento. Our students are spending more time alone, more time away from friends. This means more time away from sports, music, academic competitions, and they're also more exposed to news during the pandemic, watching the parents and guardians struggle to make ends meet. Some of them were watching their parents and guardians struggle to make ends meet before the pandemic, and it's only exacerbated that circumstance. The events can be stressful for anyone, especially teenagers who are learning to navigate their own lives, and especially under these unprecedented times. Short term, I would lift up things like the Burbank African American Consortium. An African American consortium was created to build a network of supports for African American students and families at Burbank High School by engaging teachers, parents, community members, CBOs, government bodies as consultants to the success of Black students and families at Burbank. The consortium made great impacts during COVID closures. The consortium was able to directly reach out to families, making sure that students were engaged and families received needed supports and assistance. And that broad coalition was built based around the needs of the school site. And I believe that can be a best practice and model that we can, germinate throughout the district. I think long-term, to make sure that beyond COVID, that we're making sure that we're being able to impact these issues is to implement the implementation of community schools in Sacramento Unified School District. We need to rethink a siloed system, and we need to make one that connects not only students with a great education, but connects our neighborhoods, connects the individuals, connects everyone together to make sure that knowing that our fates are interconnected. And so that's where we are. I know my time's up. We could talk more later if anybody want to connect with me.